Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahabushai, Bahasham, Barakahak Wadash, Barakatum. First and foremost, I want to give all praises, glory, and infinite honors to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahabushai. Double honors to the apostles and elders, a great millstone who ruled and teach well. In peace and salutations to you sincere Akim out there, pushing this word in truth and sincerity to the four corners of the globe. May you brothers endure until the end. This is the Brother Ra'aya with another video, and I'm going to start it off in Proverbs chapter 29, verse 2. When the righteous are in authority, the people rejoice, but when the wicked beareth rule, the people mourn, and the righteous are the sons of God, who are the children of Israel, which consists of you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans. We were created to be the Most High's representative on this planet and show these nations the right way of living through the laws, statutes, and commandments of the scriptures. But through our fall, we're in the situation we're in right now, under the curses of Deuteronomy chapter 28, underneath the foot of our enemies. But that remnant, the elect of the nation of Israel, has woken up in these last days and are coming back to their power, Yahweh Bahasham Yahabushai, and are going to be the first fruits in the kingdom of heaven, ruling this planet through the laws, statutes, and commandments. And when that takes place, when the righteous are back in authority, the people shall rejoice, because they're going to see, what a righteous rulership looks like and how to live. And everything is going to be working in perfect order. Clean air, clean water, non-GMO foods, trash or waste anywhere, and the family structure back in order with the man at the head and the woman and the children subservient to the man. But right now, the wicked are bearing rule. The wicked, according to the scriptures, the sons of the wicked being the biblical Edomites, or you so-called white people, you Americans, Canadians, Europeans, Australians, Russians, South Afrikaners, those 1948ers over in the Holy Land, etc., etc. And just look around at the planet right now, and we can clearly see that the people are mourning. Statistics come out year after year showing that the rate of depression in people, especially in the United States of America, the global hub of wickedness, is increasing. Alcohol and drug use is increasing, suicides. You've got pollution in the oceans, you've got chemtrails in the sky, lands getting strip mined for their resources, animals getting hunted to extinction, GMO foods and cell and Wi-Fi radiation giving people cancer, and the relationships between men and women just completely degraded out here. Women hate men because of feminism, and then you've got the counterpoint with the MGTOW movement, with a lot of men just not wanting to deal with women and a lot of men hating women as well. Then the cherry on top is what the alphabet agenda, beginning with LG. This Edomite runs this planet completely contrary to the laws, statutes, and commandments of Yahweh Bahasham Yahabushai. And if this devil, this demon, were allowed to rule indefinitely, this planet would be an uninhabitable wasteland. But as it says in Matthew chapter 24, and except those days should be shortened for the elect's sake, which these days have been being shortened, no flesh would be saved. But in this video, I'm going to go into an article just to give another example amongst a whole multitude of examples showing why the people mourn under a wicked rulership. This is an article from NewYorkPost.com. Microplastics found in human hearts for first time. Alarming new study finds. It's a whole nother issue people got to deal with now is microplastics and their prevalence in society. And when we go back to the inventors of plastic, whose face is on it, whose name is on it, you Edomites. And this article is going to go into some, damning information on microplastics. And I've done a lot of videos in the past going into the harmful effects of microplastics on people. They say that it affects you on a genetic level. So that lets you know that it's no joke. And then besides microplastics, you've got forever chemicals like PFASs, which are in a lot of everyday common goods. A lot of these ingredients and artificial sweeteners in the foods we eat and the things we drink break down our body. Hey, we could be here for days going into all the harmful things that you Edomites push out there that just degrade people. And hey, a lot of it is by design because the elites of the Edomites, the Rothschilds, the Rockefellers, the DuPonts, the Gettys, all these higher up families and bloodlines want to control you people and have you as nothing more than perfectly obedient goyim or cattle. The best way to do that in their minds is to dumb you down and make you physically weak and dependent on this artificial Lego playset society we live in. But let's get into this article. This might make your heart skip a beat. Microplastics commonly found in food packaging and paints have been discovered in the human heart for the first time. The alarming find was made by a team of scientists from Beijing Anjin Hospital in China who analyzed the heart tissue of 15 patients who underwent cardiovascular surgery, according to the study published by the American Chemical Society. Microplastics, which are less than 5 millimeters wide or about the size of a pencil eraser, can enter the human body through the mouth, nose, and other body cavities. And microplastics are everywhere, in the air, in the soil, in the water, in the food we eat. We're just constantly being inundated by these microplastics. And as it says in Ecclesiasticus or Sirach, chapter 10 in the Apocrypha, as the king and the ruler is, so are, his judges and the people that are subject to him, roughly paraphrasing. So with these Edomites being in power right now, these other heathen nations look at them as the standard of how to do things. So they're replicating and following a lot of their destructive practices, just further exacerbating all the problems on the planet Earth. But when the righteous are back in authority, it's going to work the same way. As the king and the ruler is, so are the subjects. These people are going to follow after us, following after the laws, statutes, and commandments. So everything's going to be back in harmony, working in tandem. But this is what you get when not only are the wicked in authority, but also a servant, somebody who was never meant to rule, but was only ever meant to be a slave, is in power, which is what you Edomites are. And when you go into the origins of the Rothschilds, their name before Rothschild, which means the red child, the red shield. And what are these Edomites? Hey, they are red. They have no melanin in their skin, so their blood shoots forth through their skin, hence the nickname redneck. And what it says in Genesis chapter 25, the first came out red all over like a hairy garment. But when you look into the Rothschild's name, before it was Rothschild, it was Bauer, which meant servant, serf, a peasant. But let's go to Ecclesiastes in the Bible, chapter 10, verses 6 to 7. Folly is set in great dignity, and the rich sit in a low place. And folly, vanity, silliness, just ignorance is set in great dignity. All you got to do is look at social media. Look at these people out here. They're only chasing after the next like, the next click, the next subscription, having this vain, just outward appearance they like to put up to show that they're better than the next person to them. And it just leads to what? Doing all these different challenges, starting drama, just all this bullshit we see. People's faces are stuck in their phone looking at bullshit. They're concerned with celebrity culture. When you try to come at them with any type of information showing how bad of a situation they're in, they're so dumbed down and stupid. Hey, a lot of these artificial foods playing a major factor in that they call it a seaspiracy, and they think you're a nut job. And we can clearly see how folly was set in great dignity over these last couple of years with how these people The majority of these people out here followed hook, line, and sinker after the whole C019 thing. They put those diapers on their face. They were obedient to the L downs, and they took that Jamba Juice in them, which now a lot of them are collapsing suddenly and getting other issues because of the Jamba Juice. And the rich definitely do sit in low place. The true rulers of the planet, the children of Israel, again, your so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, hey, we're the lowest of the low in society. The first fired, the last hired, niggers, spics, tontos, they just constantly getting screwed over by the system, by these Edomites and these other heathens that are following suit after these Edomites in oppressing the children of Israel. I have seen servants upon horses and princes walking as servants upon the earth. And if you're on a horse, that's representative of you having power. And a perfect visualization of this was that statue of President Theodore Teddy Roosevelt up in New York that was taken down. It was Teddy Roosevelt literally on a horse, and who was walking next to either side of that horse? A statue of a so-called Native American, which is really a Gadite of the northern kingdom of Israel. And then on the other side, a so-called Negro, so-called African American, a Judite of the southern kingdom. But hey, that statue was taken down, and that was symbolic of you Edomites about to be taken out of power and go back to your rightful place as the bowers, the peasants, the servants, the basest of men that you are. And just seeing the information in this article shows that your existence is a detrimental to life. You're the ultimate can't get right and can't do right. You were programmed to be the wicked. Dr. Kunhua Jbin Yang and their team wanted to investigate whether these particles can enter people's cardiovascular systems through indirect and direct exposures, according to a statement about the study. Researchers collected and analyzed the heart tissue of the patients, as well as blood samples from half of the patients. They detected tens to thousands of individual microplastic pieces in most tissue samples and found plastic samples in all of the blood samples. 9 types of plastics were found in 5 types of heart tissue. The study also found evidence suggesting that some microplastics were inadvertently introduced to the subjects during the surgeries. Now listen to this. Plastics found in 3 different parts of the heart include polymethyl methacrylate, a plastic commonly used as a shatter-resistant alternative to glass. So if it's shatter-resistant on the outside, best believe it's going to be shatter-resistant in your body and not degrade. These particles, researchers said, cannot be attributed to accidental exposure during surgery. Polyethylene terephthalate, which is used in clothing and food containers. Hey, you got to wear clothes, and you got to put your leftover foods in these containers or buy your food in these containers. And polyvinyl chloride, PVC, which is widespread in window frames, drainage pipes, paint, and more, were also found. The detection of in vivo microplastics is alarming, and more studies are necessary to investigate how the MPs enter the cardiac tissues and the potential effects of microplastics on long-term prognosis after cardiac surgery, the research team concluded. And like I said earlier, reports have come out saying that microplastics inside the body can lead to a destruction in the body on a genetic cellular level. And then you can find plenty of images of marine life, as well as, seagulls and other birds and stuff like that, falling out of the sky dying or beaching themselves on the shores of these different beaches. And when they cut open their bodies, they're full of plastics from all that waste and pollution that's dumped into their oceans. And that's what you get when, again, you have a servant ruling, because a goddamn janitor doesn't care, about the building he's cleaning up, so to speak. This Edomite, hey, just treats this planet like a whore and uses it up and tosses it aside. You've got these other nations following suit and doing the same. But when the righteous are back in authority, there is not going to be any plastics, litter, or anything like that in the kingdom of heaven. Everything's going to go back to a natural estate, like the Garden of Eden, paradise. And if you can receive it, this time even better than Eden and for eternity. Last year, a study suggested that humans consume about 5 grams of small plastic particles every week, or roughly the weight of your credit card. So look at your credit card, and that's how much plastic you're consuming every week. And that shit is not breaking down in your body. So as it continues to build up in your body, your health continues to deteriorate. The plastic particles make their way into the human food chain from packaging waste and enter the body through sea salt, seafood, and even drinking water. Scientists at the Medical University of Vienna found the changes in the gastrointestinal tract caused by the microplastics have been linked to metabolic diseases like obesity, diabetes, and chronic liver disease. And especially in the United States of America, what do you see? Ever increasing rates of obesity and diabetes. It's not all by coincidence. It's all by design. That's it with this article. Let's get back into these precepts. This is Isaiah chapter 24. I'm going to start at verse 4. The earth mourneth and fadeth away. The world languisheth and fadeth away. And when we go into the Strongs for that word languisheth, it's H535, amal, to be weak, to droop, to languish, to be exhausted, to be weak, to be or grow feeble. And under the rulership of the wicked, the earth and the people in it have become weak and languished. As it's about to say, the haughty people, the proud people, beginning with these Edomites of the earth, do languish, break down mentally, physically, and spiritually from these poisonous foods. Cell and Wi-Fi radiation, chemtrails in the sky, these poisonous ideologies that these Edomites push onto the people, like feminism, capitalism, socialism, democracy, demonocracy, communism, the list goes on and on. The earth is also defiled under the inhabitants thereof. And remember what it says in Job chapter 9, verse 24. The earth is given into the hands of the wicked. And Malachi 1, verse 4, that you Edomites are the border of wickedness, relating you Edomites to the wicked. So wherever you Edomites set up your border, wickedness and folly follows. So if the earth has been given into the hands of the wicked, the earth has been engulfed in wickedness. The earth is defiled under the inhabitants thereof, because they have transgressed the laws, changed the ordinance, and broken the everlasting covenant. You Edomites do everything clean contrary to the laws, statutes, and commandments of Yahweh Bahashem Yahawashi in the scriptures. You demonize the Bible and the Most High of the Bible, and talk about it as a fairy tale book, and that all those laws are just antiquated. They're racist. They're sexist. They're every negative-ist you can come up with out there. But let's look at the results of a godless, non-biblical society. And just walk out the door and walk into your daily life, and you'll see exactly what it is. The people mourning because the wicked are bearing rule. But there's a silver lining to everything. You Edomites have just about reached those bounds of your rulership that you cannot pass. You're about to be taken out of power and go back to your rightful place, being those servants upon your feet. I'm going to close it out in Revelation chapter 11, verse 18. And the nations were angry, speaking of the heathen nations, and thy wrath is come, in the time of the dead, that they should be judged. And that's speaking of you heathens and, the wicked of our people right now who want to follow after you heathens out of the way of understanding, as it says in Proverbs 21, verse 16. When somebody walks out of the way, I don't want to paraphrase it, I'm going to just get it, because that's not a physical death, but it's a spiritual death. Proverbs 21 and 16. The man that wandereth out of the way of understanding, the correct way through the laws, statutes, and commandments of the scriptures shall remain in the congregation of the dead, being spiritually dead, being a part of that folly that's set in great dignity, literally the walking dead. And hey, that judgment is coming through Jacob's trouble, famines, pestilences, civil unrest, race wars, World War III, martial law, and ultimately those nuclear missiles. And then, for the first 1,000 years of the kingdom of heaven, you heathens are going to serve as slaves and servants building up the kingdom of heaven, while the wicked of our people in the congregation of the dead on this side who were put to death are going to be reborn righteous through the loins of the elect. But after that first 1,000 years, you heathens, outside of you Edomites, who have a very special judgment coming your way, are going to be allowed to return unto your lands and live in peace under the subjection of the laws, statutes, and commandments of the scriptures enacted, enforced, by the children of Israel, beginning with the elect, that they should be judged, and that thou shouldest give reward unto thy servants, the prophets, and to the saints, and them that fear thy name, small and great, the elect of the nation of Israel, beginning with the 144,000 of the elect, who are going to be the governing body, that reward for standing firm and prophesying and going against this society and not giving into it. Your reward is going to be of being of that elect number and being the first fruits in the kingdom of heaven, the first to get their hands on anything. And here's now we're going into the judgment of you Edomites. And shouldest destroy them which destroy the earth, the wicked, whom the earth has been given into the hands of, those haughty people who have broken the everlasting covenant, transgressed the laws, and not followed after the ordinances, leading to this society we live in, where microplastics are everywhere, causing a whole host of detrimental medical issues. After that first 1,000 years of the hardest slavery mankind has ever seen for you Edomites, every single one of you is going to be gathered up, man, woman, and child, young and old, and permanently culled from this planet with fire. Just read Obadiah chapter 1 around verse 18, and that's going to be all she wrote for the wicked. So that's it with this video. With this video, I hope you sincere Akim and Akwath were edified. Just keep strong. We're almost out of this final wicked captivity of the heathen nations, chiefly of the wicked, the Edomites. And as always, I'm going to say Abad Babol, Kwam Yasharala, and until next time, Shalom.